Good morning, children. Good morning, all of you. How are you all? I think you all are fit and fine. In this EVS session, today I will discuss with you about lesson 13. The name of the lesson is the Northern Plains. See, children, through this Indian map, you can find whole green region is said to be the northern plains of India. Please look at the map, go through this map. In this map, the whole green region is said to be the northern plains of India. It is expanded from the west till towards the east of India. The northern plains are located to the south of the Himalayas. So, where it is located? It is located to the south of the Himalayas. They are also known as the Northern Fertile Plains or the Indo-Gangetic Plains, as they are formed by two great river systems, the Indus and the Ganga Brahmaputra. So, children, what are the other names? The other two names of northern plains are Northern Fertile Plains or the Indo-Gangetic Plains. They are actually formed by two great river systems. What are the river systems? The river systems are Indus and Ganga Brahmaputra. The east-west extent of the plain is about 2,400 kilometers, and they are about 150 to 300 kilometers wide. They cover the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and parts of Assam. So, measurement of this Indo-Gangetic plain, I am saying you once again. The east-west extent of the plains is about 2,400 kilometers, and they are about 150 to 300 kilometers wide. They cover the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and partially Assam. The northern plains are flat level land. Many rivers which originate in the Himalayas go through these plains. They are perennial river. and have water throughout the year. These rivers thus make the plains rich and fertile. A wide variety of crops grows here. So many rivers have been, or we can say, passing through these plains. And these rivers are said to be the perennial rivers. They are having water throughout the year. Throughout the year. These rivers thus make the Indo-Gangetic plains rich and fertile, and wide varieties of crops are grown over in this Indo-Gangetic plain or northern plain. An area watered by a river and its tributaries are called a basin. So, what is the definition of a basin? An area watered by a river and its tributaries called a basin. The northern plains can be divided into three river basins. The Satluj Basin lies in the states of Punjab and Haryana. The Ganga Basin lies in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal, and the Brahmaputra Basin, a narrow strip in Assam. See children, in this map it is clearly viewed the Ganga Basin, the Indus or Satluj Basin and the Brahmaputra Basin. Now our next point of discussion is about Satluj Basin. Satluj is a tributary of the river Indus or Indus River. The tributaries are Bias, Chenab, Ravi and Jhelum. The Satluj River, after flowing in Punjab and Haryana, joins Indus River, which flows through Jammu and Kashmir. So this is the description about Satluj Basin. I am reading this. I am saying this one more time for you. Satluj is a tributary of Indus River. The tributaries are Bias, Chenab, Ravi and Jhelum. The Satluj River, after flowing in Punjab and Haryana, joins with river Indus, which flows through the Jammu and Kashmir. That means Satluj River is actually joining the Indus River. The famous Bhakra Nangal Dam has been built on the Satluj to provide electricity and water for irrigation. The Indira Gandhi Canal, which starts from the Satluj, provides water to the dry areas of Rajasthan. The main crops grown in this region are wheat, rice, cotton, and sugarcane. Some of the important cities in this region are Chandigarh, Jalandhar, Patiala, Ludhiana, Ambala, and Amritsar. Children, look at the image given in the following portion of this page. This image, or this is the image of Satluj Basin. Okay, children, look at the image very properly. This is the image of Satluj Basin. Now I will discuss with you about Ganga Basin. The river Ganga is sacred to Hindus. It has its source in the Gangotri Glacier high up the Himalayas and flows through the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. So, River Ganga is actually originated from Gangotri Glacier. As it flows down the plains, it is joined by its tributaries. These are Yamuna, Ghagra, Koshi, and Gandak. So, what are the tributaries of Ganga? They are actually Yamuna, Ghagra, Koshi, and Gandak. Later, the tributaries from the Deccan Plateau also joins Ganga. These are Chambal, Betwa, and Son. So some more tributaries such as Chambal, Betwa, and Son joins the Ganga Basin from the Deccan Plateau. Finally, the river falls into the Bay of Bengal. The Ganga Basin is the most densely populated part of India. The most important cities in this area are Rishikesh, Hardwar, Delhi, Agra, Prayagraj, Varanasi, and Kolkata. Children, look at the following image. This is actually the image of Ganga Basin. Isn't it beautiful, children? It's a beautiful basin. It's a beautiful basin. Now I will come to the point Brahmaputra Basin. The river Brahmaputra starts in Tibet. It then flows eastward and enters India in Arunachal Pradesh. So, beta, what is the origin of Brahmaputra? The origin point of Brahmaputra is Tibet, and after that it started flowing eastward and enters India in Arunachal Pradesh. It is called the Sangpo. Then Brahmaputra and finally Padma in Bangladesh were joins to Ganga. The place where a river joins a sea known as its mouth. Okay, so where the place where the river actually joins a sea, the place is known as its mouth. The rivers carry a lot of silt which gets deposited at the mouth of the river. This actually forms a triangular shaped island. This island or place is called a delta. So whatever the river or the river carries lots of amount of silt with it and it gets deposited at its mouth, and there it forms a triangular shaped island. This island is called a delta. The delta formed at the mouth of the Ganga and Brahmaputra is called the Sundarban Delta. This is the largest delta in the world. So children, Sundarban Delta is the largest delta in the world, and that is found in India only. Now children, look at the following image. This is the image of a Brahmaputra basin. So this image is of Brahmaputra basin. Children, this is the image of Sundarban Delta. Just in the back page, we have discussed about the Sundarban Delta, and this is the image of Sundarban Delta. The importance of the northern plains. The soil of the northern plains is very good for growing crops. So the main occupation of the people here is farming. Most of Indian wheat and rice is grown in the northern plains only, children. Hence, these plains are also called the food bowl of India. There also exists a good network of roads and railways. Okay, children, understood about the importance of northern plains? Why they are important? They are important because the soil of the northern plains are very good for growing crops. Here the main occupation of the people is farming, and most of the wheat and rice is grown over here only. This area is also called the food bowl of India, and there also exists a good network of roads and railways. And the last point of discussion of today is the climate. The plains have extreme climate, very hot in summer and very cold in winter. They get heavy rainfall in the monsoon months of July and August. That means this region is having extreme climate in each and every respect. Too much hot as well as too much cold, and along with this heavy rainfall occurs in this region during the month of July and August. So children, this is the description about northern plains of India. Now, for today only, our session is complete here. Children, I will say you goodbye for today's session only, and in the next session, I will meet with you with a new topic. Till then, stay safe, and if you are having any confusion regarding the concepts about northern plains, just discuss it with me during the class. Okay, children, bye and take care.